So if you're in the content marketing game, the biggest piece, once you have your strategy, is content ideas. You need to know what you're actually going to be writing about. And this is something that no matter who I'm talking to, whether it is a writer, an actual content marketer, a head of marketing, an entrepreneur, or a solopreneur, freelancer, anyone trying to create content in the business world, you need to know what you're actually going to write about. A lot of time in content marketing, this is focused on practicality, or if it is a story, it still has to be geared towards an end goal, because of course content marketing is a tool to help businesses grow. It's not just storytelling for its own sake. So I really wanted to dive into the 9 frameworks that I use when I'm coming up with content ideas, whether that's for myself or for my clients. So the first strategy here is a framework that I developed with some of my clients over the years called 2 problems. And what that means is that for you, whatever you're selling, whether that is a product, service, you're selling knowledge, technology, some combination of those, you're going to have 2 problems to overcome. One is the problem that someone is facing that they would need your solution. So if you are a SaaS provider for time management, then the problem that someone's going to be facing is that they have poor time management or that they have a bad tool and they need a better one. The second problem, though, is the knowledge gap between where they are right now and understanding that they have this problem and that your solution exists. Your solution often solves for problem 1. If someone has a time management problem and you sell a time management solution, your product is the answer. So content could be about that product, about how it works, and about the benefits of it. That's lower funnel content because you need someone who kind of already understands the problem. The second level, the second problem, are issues around knowledge gap. Do they know that they have something going on? Do they know what exists out there? Do they know how they could approach solving this problem? And that's where you can start to get really strategic information and strategic content to fill that gap and build a bridge from I kind of have a problem or a pain or an outcome that I want to okay, I'm understanding how I would solve this problem and how your solution fits in. So the second one is pretty easy. It's getting ideas from your customers, your clients, your users, whatever you call them. But these are the people who are engaged with your product or service on a regular basis. So if you're in marketing trying to get ideas, go talk to sales. Ask them questions about what obstacles they overcame. What were some issues that prospects faced that your sales team was able to overcome? And on the flip side, what were some objections or questions or issues that prospects had that your sales team couldn't overcome? There might be a content opportunity for you to support them in that way. On the other side of things, go to your customer success team, your customer support team. Ask to look at tickets or ask about strategic questions that customers have asked on customer success calls. See what they're bringing up to you as problems in their business and their life and their work, because that could be an incredibly valuable source of content for you. The third one is social listening. It's an incredibly powerful tool if done correctly. There are a ton of technologies out there and processes and blogs that you can read on this, but how I think about it is in 3 different categories. The first category, do some snooping on your current customers. Many of your champions are likely going to be active on social media. Go see what they're saying. Follow them, pay attention to their posts, even engage with them. It doesn't always have to be the private email from your account. You might also learn a lot more about their feelings and their desires and their problems when they're asking on social media versus when you are coming at them in a marketing way. The second piece of social listening would be to encircle your prospects and encircle your believable people, to borrow that phrase from Ray Dalio in his book Principles. A believable person is someone who has the credibility, experience, and ability to back up their claims. So not just someone with an opinion on the internet. So these are the people who might be influencers in your space. See what they're talking about. These are the people who could become your prospects, the executives at the companies that you're targeting. What are they curious about? How are they engaging online? And the third level of social listening is the more broad topic-based, what is a trending conversation or a trending topic based on this part of the social internet. Warning there, that can be heavily, heavily skewed based on general public opinion that may not actually impact your sales. So just take that third one with a grain of salt and definitely give an order of precedence higher to potential prospects and even more precedence to your current customers and current people engaged in your community. Ask yourself or have someone ask you, what are your selfish reasons for wanting to do content? Inside of that answer is probably something like, well, I want to look good for my boss, or my boss is making me and I don't want to get fired. I want to talk about these topics, or, our company vision is this, or our quarterly goal is to push for this. Whatever it is, be really honest. The more you can identify your selfish reasons, you might actually be able to find really key ideas in there when you then take those selfish reasons and compare them to the problems your customers are facing, the customer support tickets, or some social listening. So don't be afraid to get a little bit selfish, because a part of content marketing, again, is supporting your business. So this next idea is all about taking what you already have and seeing what you can create new from it. So that's all content from content, or derivative content, as I sometimes refer to it. And derivative content comes in one of two ways. So you can either zoom in on a piece of content and figure out its elements and break it down. So maybe you have a white paper or an ebook that can be turned into blogs, or you can zoom out from a piece of content and say, what's missing here? If you have one blog post about a very niche topic, how can you surround that topic a little bit more? So don't be afraid to look at what you already have, which, by the way, you might just need to refresh and republish and it feels new again. But if that's not the case, then look at what can come out of it, what's next, or what's already there that can be repurposed for you. So this next one is another framework that I developed over my years working with clients, and I call it the know, feel, do framework. And it's a very simple question. When someone is done reading your piece of content, what do you want them to know, feel, or do? And sometimes as soon as you answer that question, what do you want them to know, you have a content idea. Because if you need them to know or want them to know a certain fact, then you obviously have to cover that fact in your piece of content. But the other two questions, what do you want them to feel or what do you want them to do, can really help you come up with different content ideas, but also come up with different content structures. Because, for instance, if you want them to sign up for a newsletter, then that's probably a piece of content that's going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit easier to sign up and have, a big newsletter here with an offer of maybe more content. So right there, that starts to trigger ideas of, okay, you want them to sign up for a newsletter, which means you have to offer more content after the fact. So maybe your blog post or your video is an introduction to X, and then encouraging them to sign up to learn more about X. And X can be, again, a piece of knowledge that they don't already have, that knowledge gap from the two problems. It can be a question that's been asked in your customer support tickets and more. So don't hesitate to, again, think, a little bit of that selfish reason. What do you want them to know, feel, or do after they're finished your content? Because that can really inform the idea of what you're going to create. is a quote that I keep hearing in the artistic and creative world, that great artists borrow and legendary artists steal. Why not take advantage of that if you can, and look for content ideas on other people's blogs, other people's content sources. Take inspiration or steal, quote unquote, don't plagiarize, from other creators. If you're seeing that everyone is talking about a topic in your space, it might be a good idea for you to have a piece on that topic. Now, you want to have a unique value. Maybe you have a really interesting perspective, or maybe the area is swamped with knowledge and you can be the one that brings it all together and kind of is a funnel of high quality knowledge so other people aren't as swamped, or something else. But don't hesitate to take inspiration and ideas from other people's content. Chances are they've done the same thing to you. And also, as long as you're making sure that it's still high quality, not just a regurgitation, and you're not plagiarizing and you're citing your sources properly, then you can still create a really high quality ecosystem. Because remember, some of the problems you might think are basic, you want your customers and your prospects to view you as someone who has the answer to those basic questions. Because if they're searching 101 stuff and you don't have any of it because you thought, oh, well, another blog's already covered it, then you lose the opportunity to bring new prospects in and engage new people at the first, most junior level, where you can gradually bring them up to the level of being ready to be your customer. I know a lot of people would probably start here, but I know this is near the end of this video, and it's SEO. And the reason that I say that SEO shouldn't be the first jump is this quote from an amazing SEO consultant that I had the wonderful opportunity to go to a workshop with. And she said, humans click, computers find. So write and create for humans because they're the ones who are going to be clicking on it, and then do your editing with SEO because the computers are the ones that are going to find it. I want to flip that on its head for the ideation process and say, why not do some keyword research, get some fresh ideas, and get some suggestion ideas? The two tools that I use personally are Ubersuggest and Google Keyword Planner. I'll put both links in the description here, so if you want to click on them. Both have a lot of free tools. You don't have to set up an ad on Google, and you don't have to do the premium version of Ubersuggest. But the cool part about both of those tools is they offer suggestions. So if you search one keyword, they might give you a different opportunity. So, cow, we've got a little cow in the background there. If you search cow on this, you might get a suggestion for lamb and sheep and farm and farming, and that can trigger ideas and give you a lot of creative juice. Pay attention to the world around you. It can be an amazing source of creativity and content ideas. If you see something that another industry has done, why not take advantage of that? A really popular example here is how banks in the 21st century didn't look to other banks for inspiration. They actually looked to Apple and other innovative tech companies to see how they should be framing their in-person experiences, because people seemed to love the Apple Store so much. How can we, make people love banks that much, was their thinking. So as you're walking around to the grocery store or something like that, think about how other industries are attracting people in. What experiences are they providing? And then think about how that might work for your industry. It's a bit of a stretch. You have to do a little bit of mental gymnastics sometimes, but the results can be absolutely amazing. Thank you all for watching. This is Lord Arthur Cuddlesworth, if you didn't get to meet him in another video. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe. It would be absolutely amazing to have you in the community. If you have any questions about content, please leave them in the comments because I would love to answer them. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day.